Okay, this is the Hell in a Cell recap and review. I know this is a little later than usual. I had to watch it on tape delay. And there's some wonkiness that got into, which I'll get into when we move into the show proper. But we did have a kickoff show match. It was a 24/7 championship match between R-Truth and Drew Gulak. Basically, the 24/7 rule gets suspended for the duration of this match. Basically, no one can interfere or anything of that nature. It's just, it can just be the two guys one-on-one. Not really much to say here. There was an interesting bit early on where Truth was playing with little Jimmy, and Gulak then tried to join in, and then he sucker punched little Jimmy, kicked him out of the ring. That was about the only interesting thing that happened. But Truth won when he rolled out of a attempted roll out. He rolled through an attempted roll up and got a jackknife pin for the 3 count. Nothing spectacular. And then Akira Tozawa, Lucha House Party hit the ring. Don't know why Lucha House Party is going after. They should be going after the tag titles, but okay. And then Truth ran off from Gulak, Tozawa, and Lucha House Party. We then got a little backstage segment with Ali of Retribution, Mustafa Ali of Retribution. He issued a challenge to the Hurt Business, one of your guys against one of ours. This wouldn't get answered for a while. It's there, and then we move on to the show proper, and this is where the wonkiness came in. I had been having audio problems with WWE for some reason. I mean, I mentioned it in my NXT TakeOver review. I had to switch to the Spanish audio to get decent audio for decent English audio for some reason. Well, this time the English audio was in French, the Spanish audio was in German, the German audio was dead silent, and the others were just kind of all the same. And I don't even remember what the French was. The French might have been in Spanish, and then the rest were just the same. So I could not hear the English audio at all. I had to use the, I think it was the French audio. I think that's what I settled on. And yeah, so if you ask me what certain things are said, I'm not entirely sure because they dubbed him over, obviously. So, and I had to play at a low volume because it's so late. But our first match on the show proper is the Hell in a Cell I Quit match for the Universal Championship between Roman Reigns and J Uso. If Jay loses, he and Jimmy are, quote, out of the family. Though the way this ended, I'm not entirely sure that's the case, but anyway. Reigns, right off the bat, kind of dominated early on. He accused Jay of just wasting his time. He had a bunch of clotheslines, but Jay came back, he had a couple of torpe suicidos, sending Reigns into the cell wall. Reigns countered a splash with a spear. He then he started kind of pushing the ref to get Jay to ask if he quit. Told Jay to just quit, just say I quit. Jay hit a super kick and then the Uso splash. He went for a second one and he didn't aim very well because his knee clopped Reigns right in the head when it happened. Jay fought back again. Reigns hit 3 spears and then Jay grabbed a leather strap at one point. Reigns hit a 3rd spear and then got the strap back, wrapped it around Jay's wrist. Jay fought back, tried to do basically a rear choke with the strap. Reigns kind of feigned fainting at that point, tried to lure him off. Caught back and got Jay in a similar hole. I think it was more of a rear chin lock type maneuver, but yeah. And then he sandwiched Jay. I keep saying Ray, that's someone else. He sandwiched Jay into the ring post a couple of times, once with the ring steps, once with just a drive-by drop kick. and that kind of knocked him out. And the ref went to ring the bell, but then said, "Nope, he has to say I quit. That's the only way this is going to end. This is the only way it's going to end." And he attacked the ref. That got the other ref to come in. He got attacked. So other officials tried to talk Reigns down. Reigns grabbed the ring steps, pinned Jay to the mat, though he pinned him with the part that's V'd out, so it doesn't look anywhere near as impressive, because you can see it's not really holding him down. And he began demanding Jay quit. Jay wouldn't budge. Jay was starting to revive. At this point, Jimmy got in, tried to talk Reigns down. Roman, realizing all the damage he had wrought, began to break down and cry. It seemed like they were making peace, but then he just suckered Jimmy into a guillotine choke, and he just refused to let go. And finally, that was enough to get Jay to say, "I quit." So yeah, that's how it ended. This thing told an incredible story. It definitely made Jay look a little more on Roman Reigns' level than the last match did. Definitely gets Roman way more over as a heel, especially when afterwards, again, I don't know how kicked out of the family they are, but Roman just looked, kind of give him a weird "I love you," and then walked up the ramp where Afa and Sika, the Wild Samoans, were sitting there, and they bestowed upon Reigns the Tribal Chief moniker. So, yeah, okay. Like I said, it was like it did a really good job of furthering the story. Definitely makes Reigns even more over as a heel now, and I think it was a better match than the previous one. So, and all in all, a good start to the show proper. Okay, our next match is Jeff Hardy versus Elias. Not much to say here. Early on, Elias came out with a song again. He ran down the Thunderdome. He made fun of Hardy's addictions. Hardy attacked the ring. Elias fought back a little bit, dodged Hardy, sending him into the barricade. Hardy came back, hit a mule kick. Elias hit an electric chair into a power bomb. Hardy came back, hit the Whisper in the Wind. Well, barely hit the Whisper in the Wind. Like, his foot managed to just catch Elias enough to make it look effective. Jeff Hardy really needs to stop doing the Whisper in the Wind. He can't hit it anymore. Hardy hits the Twist of Fate. He goes for the Swanton, but Elias rolls out of the ring. Hardy gets a little upset as this is happening. He sees Elias go for his guitar, but Hardy grabs it and hits Elias with it for the DQ. Excuse me. Yeah. That hiccup was more entertaining than this match. Yeah. Bog standard, rather forgettable. Probably should have been on the Kickoff show. Exactly. I mean, the 24/7 match was a better match than this. I think it would have worked better on the pay-per-view, or maybe get one of the other undercard championships defended. Again, like, you're building Sami Zayn versus Big E, why not do that? You could have Sami sneak out another victory or something. It would have been just as entertaining and probably would have furthered the storyline better than this one was. Okay, our next match is the match for the Money in the Bank briefcase, Otis versus The Miz. I don't have enough time to get into this whole saga. It involves a court case that kept getting pushed back and back and back for some reason, instead of just having a match. And then they held the court case and they said, just hold a match. There we go. So right off the bat, Miz tried to go for like a sunset flip, but Otis blocked it. He threw Miz around the ring. Morrison interferes, which allowed Miz to hit a DDT. Otis shrugged off the it kicks and hit a big flapjack. Morrison tried to... Otis went for the caterpillar, but Morrison got up and tried to hit him with the briefcase, and that got him kicked out. He dropped the briefcase on the floor. Tucker, who was with Otis, chased Morrison away, but then Tucker picked up the briefcase and hit Otis with it while the ref was distracted, allowing Miz to get the 3 count of the victory. So Miz is now your Money in the Bank briefcase holder. Yeah. Oh boy, this is just bad. I mean, one, it makes the whole idea of Otis winning the Money in the Bank briefcase look stupid. Miz doesn't seem like a credible threat for either of the main championship brands, main championships on the brand right now, on either brand right now. So unless he's going after the NXT championship, I don't see much of a point there. Again, you broke up Heavy Machinery twice now. I know Tucker gave like an explanation for it, but because this was all in French, I couldn't understand what it was he was saying, even to the best of my lip reading ability. It was just something to the idea of, I was the better part of the team. Again, this really, really felt stupid. You could have just had Otis win. I mean, again, the idea really should have been Otis cashes in on the tag team championships and Heavy Machinery become tag team champions. That's all you had to do. That was the simple thing. Why did you have to muck that up? Okay, our next match is the Hell in a Cell match for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Bayley against Sasha Banks. Right off the bat, Bayley comes out with a chair that had her record over Sasha in a singles match. 1-0, spray painted on it. Immediately as the cage was being lowered, Sasha drop kicked it out of Bayley's hands instead of spiraling just out of the cell. Sasha hit a tilt-a-whirl head scissors and tried to go for a bank statement, but Bayley stomped on Sasha's hands to break the hold. Sasha set up a table and used it to hit her Meteora that knocked Bayley into a cell wall. Sasha hit another Meteora off the ring apron, knocking Bayley into the wall. Bayley came back, hit a stun gun, and then grabbed a chair. She hit Sasha with a series of kendo sticks. She set up a bridge of kendo sticks, but it kind of fell apart, so it didn't quite work. Sasha hit a sunset bomb, sending Bayley into the cell wall again. Bayley dropped Sasha face first on a chair, sorry. Bayley hit a sunset flip which sent Sasha into a chair that was mounted in the corner. They began fighting it more. Sasha went for a frog splash, but Bayley got a chair up. Another point, Bayley set up a ladder bridge in between two chairs and went for a chair-assisted splash, but Sasha rolled out of the way, hit another Meteora, and then Bayley hit Bayley to belly. She went for a second one with a chair assist, but Sasha fought out of that and used the chair to lock on the bank statement, and Bayley eventually tapped out. So Sasha wins. This was a really good match. If he feels like my notes were a little sparse on that one, it's just I kind of got spoiled for me. Like one time I had to look at my phone for something, and that's when the bulletin came across. I was like, well, okay. Like I said, this was a really good match. It's really enjoyable, so I'm not trying to beg too hard on it. Just the idea that my attempt at avoidance didn't really work. So kind of right after that, we go to the Hurt Business in the backstage area, and they said, okay, we're going to accept the challenge. And they don't know who's going to fight, even though Lashley's the only one in his ring gear. And Lashley steps up and he says, I'll take them on, and I'll put up the U.S. Championship for some reason. I won against Slapjack. I believe that's supposed to be Shane Thorne. So the identity of Retribution is Slapjack is Shane Thorne. I forget, one of them is Dominic Dijakovic, one of them is Mia Yim, one of them was Mercedes Martinez, but she vanished, so I don't know what happened there. And the other one is Dio Madden, who was the Raw commentator from a while back. So, yeah, I'm just going to call him Shane Thorne if that's okay. Right off the bat, Lashley had a spear in the corner. Lashley had a delayed suplex. The whole time he was trying to rip off the mask that Shane Thorne was wearing. Shane Thorne came back. He had a cannonball into the corner after a nice suplex. But then Lashley came in. He had an overhead belly to belly and knocked on the full Nelson or the Hurt Lock. And Shane Thorne tapped out at that point. Retribution tried to jump Lashley and hit the ring, but then the Hurt Business came down and everyone powdered. Yeah, this was pointless. This was just filler before the main event. So, yeah, it didn't further anything. And I know I'm not the only one saying this, but it really doesn't make any sense because Retribution are heels, and the Hurt Business are heels, so there's no one to cheer for in this, and you're just making everyone look really stupid. Okay, so our next match is the main event for the evening, the Hell in a Cell match for the WWE Championship, Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton. Right off the bat during the entrance, Orton was disguised as one of the ring crew, and he jumped McIntyre from behind, and they brawled for a little bit outside the ring. Eventually they got into the ring, and the match started. As the cell lowered, McIntyre threw Orton into the cell ring post. What did I write here? Oh, as the match starts, he threw him into the cell. That's what happened. Orton got clotheslined out of the ring, and he began selling a shoulder injury. I wonder if he may have actually tweaked his shoulder, because it's not a secret. Randy Orton is hyperfluid in his shoulders, and they will occasionally pop out of the socket. In fact, he once popped out of the socket doing his RKO taunt. So, yeah. McIntyre went for a Claymore, but Orton blocked it with a chair, and then used the chair to kind of pin McIntyre's jaw on it. He slammed McIntyre off the ring steps. He set up the ring steps kind of vertically and threw McIntyre into them. He set up a table in the same manner, but got belly-to-belly suplex into it. McIntyre came back with series clotheslines, another suplex. Orton came back, hit the Hangman DDT, then pulled out a pair of bolt cutters and cut off the lock to the cell door and proceeded to just leave, but then McIntyre came after him. They fought for a little bit. Orton decided to climb up onto the cell, on top of the cell, and McIntyre followed. They brawled for a little bit on top of the cell. Orton had what appeared to be like a weird baseball bat type thing. Like, again, I couldn't hear the English announcers. I didn't know what they were saying at all. And anyway, they got to the side of the cage. Orton managed to knock McIntyre off the cage and all the way down to the announce table. And then Orton got McIntyre back into the ring. He went for the RKO, but McIntyre blocked it. He hit a Claymore, but Orton fell out of the ring, so McIntyre got Orton back into the ring, went for a second one. Orton blocked that, hit an RKO for the 3 count and the victory. Randy Orton is now WWE champion. Sorry if I erased that a little bit, but again, it took a while to get to that point, so I'm just trying to keep this as short as I can. Overall, I'd say the match was really good, and it kind of proves again, right now, I don't know why they did what they did with the Money in the Bank briefcase, because I don't see Miz jumping Orton anytime soon. I don't see, if McIntyre wins it back, I don't see Miz jumping McIntyre anytime soon. So, I mean, I definitely don't see him jumping Reigns at any point either. So, none of these seem like viable options. I don't know why what happened earlier just kind of seems confusing. The match itself, I think, was pretty darn good. Definitely not as good as the women's match, which probably should have been the main event, but I guess they wanted to give Orton Orton and McIntyre one more main event. I don't think they were the final match at SummerSlam, were they? I know they weren't at Clash, so yeah, again, maybe in this case it's probably for the best that they did do that. So again, kind of even keel between Raw and SmackDown. Survivor Series is on November 22nd, and that's a 3-tiered show. There's no NXT TakeOver, at least not scheduled for now. I don't think it's until December, maybe. Anyway, so my overall thoughts of the show is the cell matches were really good. Unfortunately, everything else just really screamed filler and did not add anything, and just left me feeling confused and really kind of tired as to what they were doing. So yeah, I can't really give this a B. I definitely can't give it an A. The filler was just too much filler for me, but the good stuff was still really good, so I am going to be really polite and give this a C+. Like I said, I can't quite go down to C. I didn't think it was average, but still, the filler, like I said, the filler just felt too fillery. So yeah, that's how that shaped up. Like I said, the next show is probably going to be Survivor Series, which is on November 22nd. They don't have the money to pay for AEW Full Gear, unfortunately. But yeah, so the next video is going to be for Mandalorian Season 2, Episode 1, and then the random trade review on Thor Volume 3. See you all next time.
remember to check out my Patreon at patreon.com/sleepytimeforcatproductions, where you can help me expand my wrestling coverage to stuff beyond WWE, NXT, and the occasional AEW free show.